episode of English Tales with LAF. Today, we have Lily here because she really loves fantasy stories. Right, Lily?
Yep.
Right. Today we have a special treat. We're going to read a Polish legend.
Ooh.
This book here is illustrated by Stanisław Astra. Today our legend is going to be Lech, Czech, and Rusie. Are you ready?
Yeah.
Let's start. In the midst of time in a faraway land, there lived an old king called Ziemowit. He was a wise and good ruler and was greatly loved by his subjects. He had 4 sons, Mysław, Lech, Czech, and Rusie. He loved them very much and took great care of each of them. However, the king had a big problem, for the kingdom which he ruled was small, and there was no way to divide it among his 4 sons. So he worried and pondered how to secure the future of his offspring, and at the same time, to avoid any quarrels between them, the young men were as different from one another as chalk and cheese. The eldest, Mysław, was obedient and loyal. Lech was resourceful and brave. Czech was jolly and helpful. And Rusie was incredibly determined and resolute. The king thought for 3 days and 3 nights. Finally, when the 4th day dawned, he called his sons to the royal chamber and said,
"My sons, wishing to reward you for your love for your old father and to secure your future, I have decided that the eldest of you, Mysław, will remain in the castle and will rule the land after I die. Meanwhile, I will divide the remainder of my fortune, to which they are entitled between Lech, Czech, and Rusie. So, take your possessions, my sons, and go out into the world to find a place where you can build your own castles."
Each of the 3 young men were pleased with their father's decision, because each of them yearned for travel and adventure, and also dreamed about his own kingdom. "My castle," said Czech, "will be famous for fun and dancing."
"Whilst mine," said Rusie, "will be so great that it will take at least a week to ride a horse from one end to the other." "In my kingdom," said Lech thoughtfully, "will live proud and valiant people."
What would your kingdom look like, Lily?
I would want it to be filled with lots of pretty rocks.
Wow, that sounds beautiful. With these plans, the brothers began to prepare for the expedition of their lives. Each of them saddled his best horse and loaded all his possessions onto it. Anticipating that the journey would be long and arduous, they also took as much food and drink as they could. With tears in his eyes, the old ruler bade farewell to his children, giving his blessings for their journey, wishing them well and telling them to be on their guard and to be helpful to each other in difficult situations. The king's subjects also came to bid them farewell, bringing flowers and singing farewell songs for the hares. It was difficult, very difficult, for Lech, Czech, and Rusie to leave their father's land and to go out into the unknown. He who looked carefully at the proud brothers could see tears on their cheeks. Not that they were tears of sorrow, but the first signs of missing their father, their brothers, and the family home. They rode for many days and nights, and soon crossed the borders of the kingdom, beyond a dark and ominous forest full of wild and dangerous animals waited for them. The trail became narrower and narrower until it finally became a forest track. However, they had no fear and did not intend to leave the path that they had taken, believing that the forest would end at some point, and a less forbidding land would reveal itself to them. they kept each other in good spirits. Czech hummed some jolly tunes to make the march lighter and easier with their rhythm. Rus dreamed boldly of becoming a king. Lech, however, said little about the success of the journey and their goal and prayed fervently. Deep in their hearts, each of them dreamed about finding a clearing where they could take a rest, eat something, and enjoy a sleep, as each of the young men was becoming very tired. What's this?
Oh.
It was beginning to get dark when the forest started to thin out. Very soon, a broad clearing revealed itself to them. The grass was green and rich, and beautiful flowers grew in abundance. Here and there, golden ears of wheat also sprang from the fertile ground. "My land!" cried the brothers in unison, for each one desired to settle in this magical place. Unfortunately, only one castle could be built in the clearing and a surrounding kingdom established. The young men thus began to wonder which of them should stay there and who should continue the journey. Just as they were considering this, an incredibly beautiful white eagle appeared in the sky. The brothers instantly forgot their debate, turned their eyes heavenward, and began to admire the bird. The eagle circled for a moment before swooping down and settling on Lech's shoulders. Whoa! The eagle chose him! What do you think the brothers do now?
Maybe Lech will stay to build his castle here.
Good prediction! Let's keep going and find out.
"This is your land, my brother,"
said Russ.
"That bird is a sign of destiny and an excellent omen. You are destined to settle here and populate this wild land."
"Use this gift wisely," said Czech, turning to his brother. "Rule justly and never forget about us." Lech stroked the bird's snowy feathers, sighed deeply, and said,
"It's you who chose me, my winged fortune. Teller. You have given me this land. Now it is time to bid farewell to my brothers and build a new settlement. Let this land be friendly to me and bear fruit in abundance, and I will rule it honestly and dedicate my life to it."
With this, Lech stayed in the clearing and his brothers continued their way. Czech took a path leading south, whilst Rus set off to the east. Lech worked ceaselessly day and night until an excellent court stood in the clearing. Soon, people from the neighborhood, who up to that time had considered the forest to be their home, started to come to the young man to find shelter in the new buildings. And in this way, the small clearing became the foundation of a great town, which, to commemorate the eagle, was named Gniezno, which means nest. The bird did not disappear from the town. It also settled there and had its nest on the higher tower of the court. It also warned the inhabitants of the castle of danger, so that they could defend themselves in time. Lech, although young, was a good and just ruler, and he looked after his subjects as if they were his own family. Soon, he took a beautiful and wise woman for his wife, and the sound of children's laughter began to be heard in the court. Years passed, and Gniezno grew in strength and fortune. The surrounding area was fertile, and none of Lech's subjects lacked food or drink. Around the walls of Gniezno, other settlements began to appear which spread out and formed separate towns. Lech called his land Poland, and took the eagle for its emblem, so that future generations could remember the beginnings of this beautiful kingdom. As the ruler himself predicted, the inhabitants of Poland were resourceful and prudent. They were ready to help one another, and they could unite when faced with danger. Today, although 1,000 years have passed since the wanderings of Lech, Poles still carry these noble features in their hearts and are renowned for their bravery throughout Europe. What did fate hold in store for Lech's brothers, you may ask? They also found their own lands, and building their castles, they established famous kingdoms. In the south, Czech ruled in a land named after him, Czech. As he had dreamed, the neighborhood was joyful and its inhabitants cheerful and always ready to have fun. Rus, meanwhile, created a vast kingdom in the east, the borders of which extended many thousands of kilometers, and whose hardy people populated the new wild land. The brothers never forgot about their blood and friendship ties that united them, and when times were hard, they always helped each other. And that's the story of how these places came to be. Which land would you want to be a part of?
Poland, of course, where the people are proud and brave.
That's a good choice. Me too. Well, that's all for today. I hope you have a good day today, and don't forget to always be proud of who you are. Bye-bye.
Bye.